everyone see how important I was. Perhaps understandably, it died very quickly. Partially because nobody gave a shit, but especially because it was very boring to write. Then, in late 2015, I revved it back up again. I wanted to write without worrying about editors' feedback or about being professional. I wanted to write what I wished someone would say to me when I was in the midst of a misery marathon or taking up residence in the bell jar. I wrote about my fuck-ups, fears, and real human feelings, gross, and dove into events and experiences that weren't Gold Star worthy. In it, I was vulnerable, angry, and messy as fuck. But it felt good to write about life as an often horrifying shit show instead of what it looked like through an Instagram filter. For the first time since I'd started writing, I stopped trying to show everybody how great I was and focused on the merits of being a person unfinished. I began trying to work out my issues and feelings in real time and chose to learn as I went. Quickly, the newsletter became the place I could be me and sound like me and write like me and share with the world all the very best Leonardo DiCaprio gifts the internet has to offer. I was finally happy just to be there. And for the first time in years, I didn't give a shit about being important. Which is a relief because I'm not. None of us are. Nobody's looking at us. Nobody cares. Everybody's obsessed with their own thing. Most of the time, we're all just trying our best. And sometimes we fail, and other times we don't. But we're sure as shit not better than anybody else before or after the fact. If you can look at your life and feel confident that you're doing something you love and giving it all you've got, I think that's enough. Especially since not even a tidal wave of third-party congratulations will make you feel better if you don't already like where you're at. No amount of RSVPs, no parties, no cool guys from whatever city is hip right now's adulations. No book deals. You are always left with yourself. And it turned out people liked my messy-ass self, including, and somewhat ironically, 2 book editors who reached out to my agent. So I've tried to keep toning down my quest to prove how special I am, because I'm not. And to care that much about being famous or world-renowned is exhausting. It's a waste of time and energy. Yet even while typing that sentence, I know I'm still battling. My tightrope walk between anxiety-fueled work binges and genuine hustle, between thirst and a healthy amount of ambition, is a balance I still navigate daily. And I'm so used to it at this point, I think I'd miss it if it went. Which is the funny thing about self-acceptance. When you begin to embrace your fuck-ups and anxieties and insecurities, and even the most calculating and ambitious and godfather-like parts of yourself, you end up writing a book that wouldn't exist without them. 1. Anxiety, you lying bitch. Some are born anxious. Some achieve anxiety. And some have anxiety thrust upon them. I am lucky enough to have been blessed with all 3. 10 years ago, I would never have admitted this essential truth about me. When I began my romance with anxiety, I thought it was all a phase. The stress wouldn't manifest itself in my life, or in my stomach, forever, and that, like all youthful dalliances, it would grow out of it. In the same way I grew out of wanting to be Lauren Conrad or Mary Benedict Cumberbatch. With every anxiety attack or anxiety-induced stomach cramp or inability to digest a meal properly, I told myself that it would all get better, that I could beat it by self-medicating with booze and sleep aids, or by denying it existed entirely, or by making myself small enough that it might miss me. Because anxiety is a liar. It convinced me that I was the only one it ever visited. It'd whisper its toxic nonsense to me when I was too stressed to question my relentless mental narrative. It kept me pinned down by quietly insisting that if I ever opened up about it, I'd be all alone. There were certainly signs that anxiety would become a thing as I grew up. I cried every day in first grade because I missed my mom. I couldn't stay overnight at a friend's without assuming that something bad would happen to my parents unless I was home. I couldn't fall asleep unless my mom promised there'd be no burglars or fires, and that she'd check on me every 10 minutes, just in case. In middle school, I developed an irrational fear of tornadoes, despite never having seen one, that morphed into a teen and 20-something fear of food poisoning. I wouldn't eat meat at a restaurant, ever. And then I failed a math class, and anxiety spiraled me into a full-on existential crisis. When I